Operational vehicles to State Security Outfit Task Force. Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba calls for synergy with Delta Online Publishers Forum to propagate more agenda. Nigerian Meteorological Agency predicts moderate dust and sunshine across the country. World leader gather in Brazil for G20 Summit's global challenges. A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on the Delta Television main news at 8. Joy Uche is my name. The state government has donated 31 operational vehicles to the state task force Operation Delta Sweep, formerly known as Operation Delta Hawk, to strengthen its operations. Governor Sheriff Oboriwori presented the vehicles to the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Igbetokun, at Government House, Asaba. Ejime Udueme reports.
The governor said the presentation was to enhance the joint security operations in the state, codenamed Operation Delta Sweep. He said the donation, including 23 Toyota Hilux vans and 8 Sienna wagons, was informed by the insecurity in the country and urged the security agencies to work together to effectively secure the state. The governor promised to continue to promote peace and security, hence the rebranding of the security operation. He said the security outfit had recorded successes in combating crimes such as illegal oil bunkering, kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, as well as drug-related offenses.
Trafficking. The rebranding of the task force as Operation Delta Sweep is to reflect the zeal and determination of this administration to reduce crime and crime-related activities to the barest minimum in the state. We want to sweep the state clean of criminal elements and dissidents. On inception of this task force, the state command donated, the state government donated 31 vehicles, comprising of 23 pickups and 8 Sienna space wagons. This administration donated 4 Hiluxes few months ago, and today we are adding 31 brand new Hiluxes to the fleet, making a total of 66 vehicles to aid the daily and nightly patrols of the task force, particularly at this time of the year.
Governor Oboriwori had earlier received the IGP at Government House Asaba, where he lauded the Nigerian Police Force Safe School program designed to protect educational institutions from violent crimes. He also thanked the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Olufemi Abaniwanda, for working for improved security in all parts of the state. In his remarks, the IGP, Mr. Igbetokun, commended Governor Oboriwori for the support to the Nigerian Police Force and other security agencies, as well as effective management of the recent End Hunger nationwide protests. Commissioning the vehicles, Mr. Igbetokun charged men of the Operation Delta Sweep to put the vehicles into maximum use.
Assuring you that, and I'm assuring His Excellency, that these vehicles will be put into immediate use to enhance the operational effectiveness of the police and other security agencies that make up Operation Sweep, Operation Delta Sweep in Delta State, and their maintenance will be guaranteed.
On a new terrorist group threatening northern states, the IGP said the police force was collaborating with other security agencies to address the threat. Speaking after the commissioning, the Director General of Security, Honorable David Towen, said the vehicles will be used to strengthen security in the state. He assured debtors that the security outfit would make the state safe before, during, and after the Yuletide, and advised miscreants to relocate or face severe consequences.
We will find them anywhere they have to sue them out of the state. We will carry the battle to their doorpost. And this Operation Delta Sweep is coming with a new face, a new idea, and a new way of operation. So I want to tell Deltans that this new outfit is not the outfit that anyone can toy with. If you know that you are criminally minded and you are into criminality, you better pack and leave.
The presentation of 31 brand new vehicles to Operation Delta Sweep is to, among other things, advance security in all parts of the state, which will ultimately affect all sectors. For Delta TV News, Ejime Udueme reporting.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian police force has been called upon to explore new ways of communicating with the public in order to boost public confidence in its operations. Governor Sheriff Uboriwori made a call at the opening ceremony of the Police Public Relations Officers and Police Communication Experts Conference held at Government House, Asaba. Ejime Udueme again reports.
Governor Uboriwori said the people's trust and appreciation would enable the police enjoy recognition and support. He said misconceptions and unverified information about the state and the social media had created false impressions, adding that there was need for people to fact-check any news before dissemination. The governor said police public relations officers' role in countering misinformation and fostering confidence between the police and the public was critical. He stated that security matters must remain confidential, adding that it was important to share achievements of security agencies with the public.
If police are not doing very well, we will have peace. There will be no basis for investment. They will know where people will come and invest. But I will tell you, in Delta State, the police are doing extremely very well.
Declaring the conference open, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, said the Nigerian police force was committed to promoting amicable settlement of issues, upholding fairness, and ensuring accountability. The IGP pointed out that the police force recognized the influence of the media in shaping public opinion and considered the media a vital ally in its advocacy and accountability efforts.
This initiative not only boosts our capacity for responsiveness, but also solidifies our dedication to maintaining open lines of communication with the citizens we serve. Accountability forms the cornerstone of public trust, and our unwavering commitment to enhancing oversight within the Nigerian police force is a testament to this principle.
In his remarks, the chairman on the occasion, Chief Kensington Adebotu, who was represented by Dr. Kola Uyefoso, as well as other speakers, including the State Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Oswoza, said the conference, which focused on strengthening collaboration between oversight institutions and the police force, was a platform to foster accountability, enhance cooperation, and promote community engagement.
Eyes and ears of the Nigerian police in the dynamic environment of policing. The public relations officers need to get appraised with evolving new techniques in public relations that will be necessary for them to engage as image makers. This workshop, therefore, underscores the importance of equipping you with the skills, knowledge, and tools required for your career in an ever...
Ejime Udueme reporting.
The chairman of Ndokwa East Local Government Area, Chief Vincent Oselonya, has distributed notebooks worth millions of naira to 70 primary schools in the area. Distributing the notebooks to the heads of schools at Ashaka, Chief Oselonya charged the pupils to take the status seriously in order to acquire knowledge necessary to enhance their academic growth and development. The council also emphasized that a large number of pupils could not afford complete notebooks required in all subjects in the school. While assuring the pupils of his continuous support, Chief Oselonya employed the pupils to develop the habit of reading, as such will go a long way to help them in their academic pursuits. He advised them to shun acts capable of destroying their future. The Supervisor for Education and Agriculture of the Council, Honorable Prince Sokwokwo, and the Head of Education Department, Mr. Simeon Utomi, commended the Council boss for his support and commitment to the growth and development of education in the area. They appealed to the teachers and parents to remain dedicated to the upbringing of the children to become future ambassadors. The head teachers of Gweze Primary School, Abo, Comrade Job Itubo, Adolfi Primary School, Osisa, Mrs. Veronica Ebolosoi, and Igbuku Primary School, Igbuku, Mr. Amechi Izogo, promised to supervise the pupils to ensure the notebooks were put into good use. The head teachers urged other well-meaning individuals to emulate the gesture of his council chairman. Some of the beneficiaries, including Miss Sarah Orenero of the Ozoma Primary School, Ashaka, appreciated the donor for creating an enabling environment in which children's potentials were nurtured and developed. President Bola Tinubu is in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, for the 19th Heads of State and Government Summit of the Group of 20, G20. President Tinubu was received by Bruno Costa and the Ministry of External Relations of Brazil. He is expected to hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit in advancement of Nigeria's socio-economic reforms. Brazil's president, Mr. Lula da Silva, is hosting the 2024 G20 summit, having held the group's rotating presidency since December 21, 2023. The summit, with the theme Building a Just World and a Sustainable Planet, will focus on three dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental, and the reforms of a global governance. Similarly, President Tinubu and Prime Minister Modi have applauded the vibrant cultural and academic exchanges between their nations, which have included visits by cultural troupes, participation in film and literary festivals, and other collaborative activities. They underscored the importance of widening these exchanges to promote mutual understanding and shared heritage. The leaders recognized the role of tourism in enhancing people-to-people connections and emphasized the need to explore opportunities for promoting travel and cultural interaction between Nigeria and India. The two countries reiterated their commitment to UN Security Council reform and mutual support for permanent and non-permanent memberships. They also pledged cooperation on regional peace and security, particularly in West Africa. Nigeria took note of India's invitation to join the Global Biofuel Alliance and Global River Cities Alliance. The General Manager of Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, Mrs. Christine Jobome Emetulu, has called for synergy between the DBS Asaba and the Delta Online Publishers Forum, DOPF, in propagating the more agenda of the state government. Mrs. Jobome Emetulu made the call when the online publishers visited her ahead of their lecture series scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday. Violet Moyi reports.
Emetulu told the delegation that the online media remained one of the most variable information dissemination methods to any government, stressing that the DBS Asaba would ensure a strong online presence at all times towards adequately publicizing the state government activities. She noted that the Online Publishers Forum had helped the station in driving the adequate information dissemination content of the more agenda of the state government. The DBS Asaba General Manager commended the online publishers for working towards publishing quality online content in the state.
I dare to say that the online publishers have also helped us in driving the information perspectives and machinery forward for the more agenda of His Excellency, the Elder and Honorable Elder Sheriff Francis Koboliwo. to really have a symbiotic relationship. It will pay you to pay us as well, such that when we carry our news, we like excerpts of it, because with our logo there, post on your pages. Because I also want that broadcasting service to be very, very visible. So while we sit here saying, okay, we're ready to partner with you.
The chairman of the DOPF, Mr. Emmanuel Enebeli, said the visit was to seek partnership with the station towards highlighting security challenges in the state. He emphasized the forum's robust online presence in the state and its desire for collaboration with media establishments. Mr. Enebeli appealed for support for the online publishers lecture series.
Formally invite you and invite the opposition to let this taking place on Wednesday 20th at Yela Hotel. So, and the topic for this year is security challenges, finding local implementable solutions.
Violet Monye reporting.
Charged to make positive confessions concerning their daily activities, says there's power in the tongue. Pastor Emmanuel Augustine of the Mountain of Fire Miracle Ministries, Asaba, gave the charge today at Delta Broadcasting Service DBS Asaba weekly prayer session. Violet Moye again reports.
Augustine preached on the powers of positive confessions using Proverbs 18 verse 21 and Matthew 12 verse 36 to 37. He emphasized the profound impact of spoken words on the life of Christians, stressing that the tongue had power to create or destroy one's future. The Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministries cleric highlighted the creative power in the book of Genesis, where God spoke light into existence.
So we are the sons and daughters of Most High God. Whatever you say will be established. Because God has given you the power and dominion over everything. Amen. God did not say, let begin to mold this place. Let begin to mold. Say, let that be. And there was.
Pastor Augustine urged believers to harness the power of positive confessions by speaking positively over their families and workplaces and avoid negative influences. He said, commanding daily activities with prophetic declarations should be the lifestyle of every Christian. Violet Moyi reporting.
House of Representatives Honorable Tajuddin Abbas has said that the Green Chamber is yet to take a stand on the tax reform bills sent to the National Assembly by President Bola Tinubu. Honorable Abbas disclosed this in Abuja by declaring open an interactive session on the proposed bills. The bills are the Nigeria Tax Bill, the Nigeria Tax Administration Bill, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill. The Speaker noted that the four bills represent critical proposals from the executive to expand Nigeria's tax base, improve compliance, and establish sustainable revenue streams for the nation's development. Honorable Abbas explains that the session was to provide lawmakers with a comprehensive understanding of the proposed bills. He said it was designed to deepen the lawmakers' appreciation of their provisions, commence constructive dialogue on contentious or controversial areas, and build the consensus necessary to produce versions of the bills that align with interests of the executive, the legislature, sub-national governments, and the Nigerian people. Honorable Abbas emphasized that tax reforms are a cornerstone of the House legislative agenda because of their central role in achieving sustainable economic growth and development. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, has clarified that the proposed tax reform bills before the National Assembly were not designed to target or undermine any region. Mr. Oyedele made the clarification at an interactive session on the proposed tax reform bills organized by the House of Representatives. President Bola Tinubu in September transmitted 4 tax reform bills to the National Assembly for consideration, following recommendations of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reforms headed by Mr. Taiwo Oyedele for review of existing tax laws. The bills are the Nigerian Tax Bill 2024, which is expected to provide the fiscal framework for taxation in the country, and the Tax Administration Bill, which will provide a clear and concise legal framework for all taxes in the country and reduce disputes. Others are a Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, which will repeal the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act and establish the Nigerian Revenue Service, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, which will create a tax tribunal and a tax ombudsman. The executive bills have, however, not gained the support of state governors who called for their withdrawal to allow for more consultation, a proposal rejected by President Tinubu. Specifically, the Northern Governors Forum, chaired by Gombe State Governor Mohammed Enuwa Yahaya, rejected the derivation-based model for value-added tax VAT distribution proposed in the new tax bill. Briefing lawmakers and stakeholders, Mr. Oyedele argued that the proposal would only ensure efficiency and give more revenue to states where goods and services are consumed. Mr. Oyedele explains that currently, under Section 40 of the VAT Act, VAT revenue is allocated 15% to the federal government, 50% to the states and FCT, and 35% to local governments. The controller of the Nigeria Immigration Service, NIS, Edo State Command, Mr. Martins Moye, has described as alarming the rise in numbers of irregular migrants flocking into Nigeria. Mr. Moye expressed his concerns at the 2024 edition of NIS Enlightenment Campaign against irregular migration held in Benin City, the state capital, with the theme, "Say no to migrants smuggling. If you must migrate, migrate safely, orderly and regularly." Speaking during the 3-day sensitization program, which took officers and men of the command to the palace of the Enoge of Enya, marketplaces, motor parks and major streets, the controller said the rise in numbers of irregular migration made the enlightenment program necessary. One of the facilitators, an assistant controller of immigration from the command's headquarters, Abuja, Mr. David Amanaho, said Edo State was chosen as one of the states for the Enlightenment campaign because of its past history on irregular migration. The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has tied its 1.911 trillion naira 2024 budget to 1,006 legacy projects in the 9 states of the Niger Delta. The Commission explained at the weekend that its performance in driving development in the region encouraged the National Assembly to approve its 2024 budget. The NDDC said in a statement that its current leadership approach to development and collaboration was yielding results, as exemplified in the completion of 5 legacy projects. The Commission added that a 2024 appropriation was anchored on the theme Budget of Renewed Hope, in line with the federal government's budget, adding that the proposal sought to move the NDDC from transaction to transformation. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted moderate dust and sunshine from today through Wednesday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook released yesterday in Abuja forecasts moderate dust today with localized visibilities of less than or equal to 1,000 meters anticipated throughout the forecast period in the northern region. According to the NIMET, slight dust with localized visibilities of 2 to 5 kilometers is expected during the forecast period in the north-central region. In the south, patches of clouds with sunshine intervals are expected over the inland and coastal cities during the morning hours. Later, during the afternoon and evening hours, thunderstorms with slight rains are expected over parts of rivers, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa states. The agency anticipated moderate dust in the northern region tomorrow, with localized visibilities of less than or equal to 1,000 meters throughout the forecast period. According to it, slight dust with localized visibilities of 2 to 5 kilometers is expected during the forecast period in the north-central region. NIMET envisaged sunny skies with patches of clouds over the inland and coastal cities in the morning hours of the southern region. It predicted thunderstorms with slight rains over parts of rivers, Cross River, Delta, Bayelsa, Lagos, and Akwa Ibom states later in the day. Still to come on the Delta Television main news at 8, world leader gather in Brazil for G20 summit global challenges. Details of this and more shortly. Stay with us.
Aha! Is there it? Bro, I did tell you, this match 3-0. Okay. If I win you, something will come out.
Don't play with me. Fast ball. Ah. You know what? You go something.
Bro.
Now we got this match.
Keep the banter going with Glow Borrow Me Credit or Data. Dial star 303 hash to borrow airtime or data and pay later.
Is that ready?
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow Unlimited.
Thank you for staying on. You are watching the Delta Television main news at 8. We are going on straight to the global scene now as we join our news desk.
President Luis Inácio Lula da Silva has opened the summit of the group of 20 major economies today with the launch of a global alliance to combat poverty and hunger that 81 countries have agreed to back. As G20 leaders met at Rio de Janeiro's Modern Arts Museum for 2 days of talks, their agenda highlighted a shifting global order as US President-elect Donald Trump returns to power. Their discussions of trade, climate change, and international security run up against the sharp US policy changes that Mr. Trump vows upon taking office in January, from tariffs to the promise of a negotiated solution to the war in Ukraine. The United States President, Mr. Joe Biden, has given the green light for Ukraine to use long-range US missiles to strike inside Russia. The news has not been formally announced, but Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the missiles would speak for themselves. The US will reportedly allow Ukraine to use the missiles to hold onto the small chunk of Russian territory it occupies in Kursk region. The US apparently made its decision after Russia allowed North Korean troops to fight alongside Russians in Kursk. Russia had launched another drone and missile attack on Ukraine on Sunday, with at least 11 people killed by a missile attack in Sumy, near the border. An overwhelming majority of Gabonese people have voted for a new constitution, in a move that marked a new phase for the country following last year's coup. According to the country's electoral body, provisional results showed that 92% of voters backed the new constitution. The outcome sets the stage for a transition to civilian rule, although critics said it was designed to allow the coup leader Brice Oligui Nguema to remain in power. Mr. Nguema is yet to openly say whether he will run in the coming election. The new law removes the Prime Minister's position and introduces 2 vice president roles. While some have hailed the draft law, others have warned that it could concentrate too much power in the presidency.
Join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has offered to supply 60 million litres of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, to the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria weekly, which translates to 240 million litres monthly. The refinery agreed to give 60 million litres of PMS to IPMAN members weekly, depending on patronage, as the refinery is aiming to raise billions of dollars to import crude oil and increase production. Also, oil dealers stated that petrol prices were declining following the competition occasioned by the deregulation of the sector, especially as the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, and other marketers imported over 2 billion litres of PMS in 42 days. IPMAN National Publicity Secretary Chinedu Ukadike said members of the association can lift any quantity of PMS allocated to them by the Dangote refinery, stressing that independent marketers were the ones distributing the majority of the fuel imported into the country. The Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has warned electricity distribution companies this week that it is their responsibility to replace customers' faulty meters. The commission disclosed this today in a statement amid a surge in complaints by DISCO customers. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission on Wednesday has also warned the Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company, IKEDC, and the Eco Electricity Distribution Company, EKEDC, against flouting its directives on obsolete meters. The NERC said the DISCO's directive to customers to apply and pay for 40 meters contravenes its order. According to the regulator, the order clearly states that no customer with a meter should be forcibly migrated to estimate billing, noting that if any customer meter is adjudged by any DISCOs to be obsolete or faulty, it is the responsibility of the DISCO to replace the meter free of charge, provided that the fault was not caused by the customer.
Let's now join our sports news desk for the happenings in the world of sports.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria were tonight upset 2-1 by 2026 World Cup qualifying rivals Rwanda in a final 2025 AFCON qualifier in Uyo. It was the first win by Rwanda over Nigeria at full international level. The Super Eagles opened scoring in the 59th minute, courtesy of the individual brilliance of substitute Samuel Chukwueze. However, Rwanda drew level in the 72nd minute, where Ange Musinzi headed home a header beyond goalkeeper Maduka Okoye.
It's good delivery, and they've got one back, Rwanda.
The visitor then pulled ahead 3 minutes later through Innocent Nshuti.
Nshuti plays it on the overlap, comes to Nshuti! What a turnaround from Rwanda!
Despite the disappointing home loss, the Super Eagles won Group D with 11 points from 6 matches. Rwanda finished on 8 points but failed to qualify after Benin Republic head host Libya to a goalless draw in Tripoli to go through to Morocco 2025 on better goals difference. The draws for the 2024 Africa Women's Cup of Nations (WAFCON) will hold on Friday, November 22nd in Morocco. The Confederation of Africa Football (CAF) announced this on its website yesterday. The Mohammed V Technical Center in Salem, Morocco, will host the draw ceremony. Morocco will host the competition from July 5th to July 26, 2025. 9-time champions, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, are among the 12 teams that have qualified for the competition. The last edition of the competition in 2022, which was hosted by Morocco, was won by Banyana Banyana of South Africa.
That's our news. Here's a thought for the day. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. And now to end to Delta Television main news at 8. Here are the highlights. The state government has donated 31 operational vehicles to the state task force Operation Delta Sweep, formerly known as Operation Delta Hawk, to strengthen its operations. Governor Sheriff Oboriwo presented the vehicles to the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Betokon, at Government House, Asaba. The General Manager of Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, Mrs. Christine Jobome Imetulu, has called for synergy between DBS Asaba and Delta Online Publishers Forum, DOPF, in propagating the more agenda of the state government. Mrs. Jobome Imetulu made a call when the online publishers visited her ahead of their lecture series scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted moderate dust and sunshine from today through Wednesday across the country. And from abroad, we did report that world leaders gather in Brazil for G20 summits amidst global challenges. That's our news. Thank you so much for being a part of it. On behalf of the entire news crew, Joy Uche is my name. Good night.